Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to do a fan interview with the owners of UGA Hoops from Twitter. One is the men's basketball hoops, one is the women's basketball hoops on Twitter. How are y'all doing today?
I am good. It's women's and men.
I am good as well. Tyree here, and I represent the women's basketball fans page.
That's wonderful. How did y'all become a Georgia Bulldogs fan?
So I became a fan of the Georgia Bulldogs when Saudi Roundtree was a junior. When Andy had signed her, I noticed that they were making a lot of headway with such a young class. That was the class of Keisha Pratt, Tracy Henderson, um, those guys. And so I started following them when they started to gain a lot of traction at the national level. Um, and I think that's the year they made a huge run with a senior and a lot of sophomores. And so that's about the time where I really started to follow the women's game because of the headway they were making. And I know they had already made a lot of headway with Teresa Edwards um, and Katrina McLean back in that day. But when I saw that they were starting to gain additional traction at the national level, that's when I really started to follow the women's game on the UGA side.
What about you, Darius?
Okay, so me personally, I started. Tyree's a little bit, he's a little bit back before my time, but I started when around my parents got a divorce around in 2009, and I was flipping through the TV. I became like so I turned to sports, so I was watching sports and I was flipping through the TV, but I actually saw Don Staley in South Carolina, and I think they were playing Duke at the time, and I was like, you know what? And I think they won at the buzzer. It was like a great game. So I started following women's basketball around that time, and then I turned to my home state. I know around the time when Joni like kind of first got the job, and just been supporting ever since.
Who are some of your favorite players on the men's and women's basketball team? Darius?
Oh, so me, I would say Kalia Robinson. She's up here from where I'm from, so I've been supporting her, and I would say Anthony Edwards too, because I mean, he's just an all around exciting player.
This is Kyrie. I will say for me on the men's side, when Trey Tompkins decided to commit to UGA, I started following the men, a little bit at that point in time. I think Coach Felton was at the helm of the UGA men's basketball team. And I will say for the women's side of the game, so I'm gonna have to take a double dip right now. It's gonna have to be Saudi Roundtree, and also Jasmine James was like a really a favorite of mine as well. I love her tenacity on both ends of the floor. Um, so I will say those two for the women's side were two of the ones that I really followed.
Who are some of your favorite? What is your favorite season for UGA basketball? Starting with you, Darius.
My favorite season, it might be like 2 years ago. When we went back to the Joni's second time going to the NCAA tournament. I feel like that was an exciting team, and then that was when I first kind of like went to a game. I think we played Mercer, and then we went to the second round playing against Duke. So I went to both. I seen both those games, but unfortunately, we didn't do too good against Duke. But it was still an exciting season.
What about you, Darius?
I will say my favorite year was the 2012-2013 season, and the reason why that season was very special for me is because a lot of people really doubted Andy Landers and what he could accomplish. at that point in time. And I know with that 2009 class, um, they were, I think it was a top 5 class, and so many people had wrote them off, and I remember when Jasmine James fouled out of the game. I think we were in the Elite Eight. We had just upset Stanford, and we had a bit of a lead when she went out of the game. I think we had like 3 minutes left, and so Cal was able to send the game into overtime, and they won by like I think 1 or 2 points. But that was the season for me that was a really good season because we were the underdog, and I that's the reason why I cheer for Georgia a lot is because I consider the underdog, and the one thing that Joni's teams will always play with is a lot of heart, and that is it emulates a lot of what Andy Landers created with the Georgia women's basketball team.
Can you talk about starting the UGA Hoops Fan blog?
Sorry.
All right. So Des and I, were talking behind the scenes a lot, and I remember saying, "Hey, I would love to start a UGA women's basketball fans hoop page," and I actually tagged all of the current coaches on the women's basketball team, the coaches on the current team. I think it was about a year ago, and so Joni inboxed me, and the reason why I decided to do that is because I saw Mississippi State, South Carolina, their hoops fans page. It was gaining a lot of attention amongst like the recruits, and we're not doing anything that's gonna get us caught up in a violation or anything with the NCAA. But what it does is it gives the team a lot of notoriety, and I think that was something that we were missing as far as like recruiting was concerned. And with that page being up for about a year now, you can really see the difference that Joni was able to make. I think that the playing field is a little bit even now when it comes to the elite. Now we didn't get a lot of the top 10 players, top players that we really wanted, but I mean we had a really good class with Jillian Hollinshed, Reagan Richardson. I mean these are going to be superstars within the SEC, and they're going to make an immediate impact. And I think that page was able to gain a lot of buzz for Joni and her staff. And so I think moving forward, you're going to see recruiting take off a little bit from on the women's side, because you've seen a lot of the 22 kids are already starting to follow that page, and they're liking a lot of the tweets and they're retweeting a lot of the tweets that we are sending out. So I think you're going to see things turn around a little bit for Joni here in the coming years. And she already has a lot of depth right now, but I think you're going to see that program start to turn around, and we're going to start making a lot of national headway again. I really do feel that.
That's wonderful. What are some of your future plans with the UGA Hoop Fans blog and with the Hoops Fan Twitter?
Sorry.
Say that question again.
What is some of your future plans with the Hoops Fan blog along with the Hoops Fan Twitter?
I think as far as like future plans, I want to get better at doing like the jersey swaps. I see that some fan pages are starting to do those, and I'm starting to like learn a little bit about that. I think that is just going to help, gain more notoriety and more traction for our program. Another thing that I would love to do at some point is, and I mean it's kind of tricky too because the NCAA is real tricky, and I don't want to like like I say, violations, and that's one of the things that Joni and I really talked about. It's just to make sure we're staying within in the realm of those boundaries when it comes to the NCAA, because I don't want to do anything that'll be detrimental to the program itself. So I will say, doing like some jersey swaps and that's probably it for right now. Because like I said, I try and engage, other hoop fan pages and kind of think outside of the box. I know I talk to Dez a lot, and we try and come together and see like what we can do to gain
Help grow the.
more attraction for the program. So yeah.
Des, what is some of your future plans with your blog part of it?
I would just say getting more fans, in tune to what we're doing on, to talking to, I mean, just trying to get the recruits to see, the program for what it is and what we can actually do in the future.
Have y'all been to any games to cover like games like live stream or like something like that?
I know with me. Oh, go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
I know with me, it's a little tricky right now, especially with the whole pandemic going on right now. I have I have bought season tickets a couple of times. Just before I retired from the army, I was like going back and forth, and it was before this was before Joni had taken over the program. So I was, traveling back and forth from overseas for deployments, and it was just really tricky for me to get to the games. And this year, I felt like, hey, I could finally do it, and the pandemic happened, and but that is definitely a plan of mine, and that's the reason why I really want to move back down south as well, so that I can kind of capture more of the program, so that we can let the fans see. I think that's a missing piece for our fans, especially when it comes to the women's side of the game. I think they're missing, that intimate piece where they can be a part of the program. I think that is something that we need to like really, really capture moving forward. And if we can do that, I think that that will gain more fans and more excitement for the program.
What about you, Des?
Can you repeat that question one more time for me?
What are some of your future plans when it comes to the hoops blog?
So, basically just, I guess you would say, like I said earlier, just growing the fan base, getting more people to support the women's team like they do, like the football team. And I mean, because we're really good. I feel like we're really good, and we'll, this season make some noise in the SEC. But just help them grow the program and get behind Joni and the girls.
Where can my listeners find both of your blogs at on social media?
Okay, so mine is UGA WBB fan, and then Tyree.
Mine is UGA, or you can look us up at Joni's Junkyard Dogs as well, and we'll come up that way as well if you just put us in the search engine. Um, so yeah, and just look for us. I mean, like I said, the fan page has grown a lot. I mean, within a year, I think we're up to almost 100. I mean, 1,000 followers right now. So it's really taking off a lot. So make sure you guys check us out.
Thank you again for this fan interview of the UGA basketball. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, both of y'all, for your interview, and best of luck with the UGA programs.
Sir, go Dogs. Thanks.
Go Dogs.